Yeah, we only use one precept.
So, another thing that is out there, it's nothing new. It's I originally wanted to talk about when we are going to discuss and tackle the issue of men, fake Israelites and Christians, one and the same.
Oh my goodness.
Teaching it's okay to buy women for sexual pleasure. It's okay to buy prostitutes. That's what they teach. They claim to be, priests of God and, they're if you call them garments,
right,
with their heads covered with teaching with snapbacks on and, and sneakers, right? Claiming to be teaching the Bible, but in the same breath, as you claim to be calling yourself a man of God, teach men that it's okay to buy women.
right.
Blasphemy.
You could look after class, go buy you a nice hoe. I know you going through a lot. You ain't got you ain't got no wife or nothing. God understands that. Go buy you a hoe. Go buy a whore. It's just a business transaction.
Right. If I may, sir. Right. I'm glad we're touching this topic right now. If I may, may I please just go read Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 2 real quick?
Kind.
Okay. If I may, right. So, oh my goodness.
It's one of those, man. I mean, as real priests of God,
right?
We tackle all these issues because at the end of the day, you brothers need help.
Damn right.
You're not in position to teach the Bible. You haven't overcome your lusts. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't overcome your lust for anything. You teach men that it is okay to succumb to their lusts. You enable them.
Right.
You make excuses for them. You try to, and really what it boils down to, you buy prostitutes.
Right.
You buy whores.
Right.
And you're an Israelite and you want to be Israelite. You want to be with the brothers but you just cannot not buy prostitutes. You need that.
If I may, sir. The funny thing with demons, right? Demons love company.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that out of, the truth is you buy prostitutes. So you want, or Slakia, I should say the demon in you wants other brothers to buy prostitutes.
Right.
So the reason why I wanted to go over the scripture real quick, if I could, sir, right?
Yeah, let's read that.
There was a brother who brought this precept out, right? So this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2.
And this brother online, right, is not the first cat to bring this up. You understand? He's like no one in regards of making this relevant. Like we deal with this when we go to camp. We deal with this all the time. Brothers and sisters that come to class, that sit in class and ask this question. It's a real black issue.
Right.
It's a real Hispanic and Native American issue where brothers buy women and women sell themselves. Those are two issues. You get my point? And pimps. If you're from California, I don't have to tell you about the different districts and blades out here. You drive down Baseline, you gonna be in a normal neighborhood. You think it's normal. Kids playing with their toys in the front yard, and in the same street, women walking down the street, half naked, selling their behind. Read that.
So like, if I could, sir, right? Okay, so this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, "Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it,
all right,
that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you."
What's the point you want to bring up? Go ahead.
So the point I wanted to bring, right? Like you said, we deal with this all the time. Fake Israelites, brothers in the world. They're really the same thing, to be honest with you, right? Christians. So some people like to go to this, right? Wanted to bring this out and said, okay, you can't add unto the word of the Most High, right? And all the commandments that he gives the children of Israel. Okay, no sweat.
Mm-hmm.
If I may, I'm going to read the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29.
Right.
Now here it says
You're gonna go into the law and see what the law is.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
So just so we know, this is the first 5 books, right? So this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not, if I could just say it one more time. Do not prostitute thy daughter.
The definition of prostitute.
To cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. Now, I have a question for all these, fake Israelites, brothers in the world, whoever, right? If you think that it is okay for you to buy prostitutes, what would they call it? A business transaction? That's what they like to say. Right? You think it's okay to buy a prostitute. So why does it say in the Bible,
Right.
in the book of Leviticus, matter of fact, I'll take it back for you. The book of Deuteronomy, it says, ye shall not add unto the word, right? Now, we're reading the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29, and it says, I'm going to read it for y'all one more time. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. Where are you getting the idea that it is okay to buy a prostitute? We're reading in the Bible, do not prostitute thy daughter. If I may, sir, a brother brought this up. He said, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I think it's wrong to prostitute your daughter. Okay, but you think it's okay to buy a prostitute? That's somebody's daughter. You just contradicted yourself.
The argument is that they make is, it's a few arguments they make, right? And if you don't know anything, you can be deceived, right? They'll say, like you just said, you're not supposed to prostitute your daughter, and to your point, it was okay. So you can buy the next man's daughter.
Good
lie.
Man.
That don't make
It makes no sense.
Sir.
It makes no sense.
Don't prostitute your daughter, but help the next brother prostitute his, or you know what I mean? Enable that. That makes no sense. It's talking about the daughters of our women, and you got these cats that say, temple prostitutes. Yeah, you had heathens who had their places of worship where they had women, you know what I mean, have sex in their temples and things like that. But the whole idea of a woman selling herself for sex is a sin.
Right.
The whole idea of a man buying a woman is a sin. How do I know that? Because this is the process. I've never bought a whore. I've never had to pay for sex.
Right.
You get my point?
Right.
You a nigga, you're a loser.
Right. You a weirdo.
Anyone that does it, and I'm putting it in that fashion so you can understand how weak you in the mind you are as a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, how destructive you are. And really, I'm helping you. I'm battling your demons, because it's not just buying prostitutes. It's not just that. It's way deeper than that. The issue is that's the surface of the issue.
Right.
It's your lusts. You don't know how to combat lusts. You understand? Now, read that one more time. This is the law.
So like me.
Leviticus
19 and 29.
Read it all the way through.
Leviticus 19 and 29. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
Right. When you prostitute, women that prostitute themselves are whores. Plain and simple.
Facts.
Plain and simple. You understand? A man that buys prostitutes is a whoremonger.
Right.
You get my point? Don't the Bible say something about whore? Get that Revelation 21.
I believe it's Revelation.
Good night, all right?
Good night, I don't want.
I didn't even think about that.
I think I had it right here if I could.
It's Revelation 21.
It's Revelation 21?
Yeah. Revelation 21 and 8.
You got it?
Look at Revelation 21 and 8. Let's get that real quick.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 8.
Oh, give me verse 7. Let me help you out.
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 7. He that overcometh shall inherit all things.
He that overcometh, Christ said, he that overcometh shall inherit all things. Right? Go ahead.
And I will be his God,
Mm-hmm.
and he shall be my son.
Keep going.
Verse 8.
That was the most high part of me. Go ahead.
But the fearful.
But the fearful. So on one hand, you got those that overcome.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna learn what you got to overcome. Number one, fear.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
And unbelieving.
The overcoming being doubtful, unbelieving. Keep going.
And the abominable.
And the abominable. Anything that is abominable, any commandment that you break is an abomination. That's how you got to think of it. Go ahead.
And murderers.
Abortion.
Good night.
Right.
Keep going.
And whoremongers.
And what?
Whoremongers.
One more time.
Whoremongers.
Whoremongers, all right? Keep going.
And idolaters.
And idolaters.
And all liars
Mm-hmm.
shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone.
You're playing with death. You're playing with being a part of nuclear destruction. You understand? Not the glorious being saved from it part of it, but the being in it.
Right.
Being in that fire. You understand? When you are fearful, when you're unbelieving, when you practice abomination, when you murder, because these are all things that we have to overcome. You know how easy it is to get an abortion?
Sadly, too easy.
You know how easy it is for a woman to force a miscarriage. Not even just an abortion. You understand? You know how easy it is to get high?
It's a little too easy.
You know how easy it is to buy a prostitute? You know how easy it is? You know how it's going to take men with a moral compass to overcome those things. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to log online and watch porn.
Right.
It's easy to do that.
Right.
You understand? But it's more honorable to overcome those things.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
And those are things we don't learn growing up. We learn those things are okay. We learn like I remember when I was in back in my high school days and middle school days, women used to get trains ran on them, all right?
It's like, if I may,
Listen.
you saying used to.
Right.
go ahead. Go ahead. Slack it.
But at 15, 16,
Those are kids.
you understand what I'm saying?
Concept.
Like, I'm not even gonna go there, but my point is this. Your battle is not just buying prostitutes, it's lust.
Right.
It's lust. You don't know how to combat lust. It's the thing that creeps in your mind and it overpowers you. Let me put you on to something, right? David.
Oh, man.
King David. I
I already know what you're about to talk about.
King David was a amazing brother. He was a man after the Most High's heart. You hear me? A man after the Most High's heart, as we read in Acts the 13th chapter, the 22nd and 23rd verse.
Right.
When Peter is describing the patriarchs of Israel. You see, our forefathers, and going back into the accounts of our records. And there was a man by the name of David who became King David. Remember, Saul killed his thousands and David has killed his tens of thousands.
Right.
See that? This man was on a level.
Right.
This man, one of the roots of his, popularity, if you will, is the fact that he slayed Goliath. He was fearless.
Right.
He had ultimate faith in the Most High that he didn't need Saul's shield and buckler. He said, I've not proved these. And he checked that giant. And throughout the years, he slew nations. He danced before the ark. You get my point?
Right.
But there was a giant that slew David. And that giant is lust.
Right.
You get my point? David slayed a giant. There was another giant that was more mightier than Goliath. And David got on his balcony and he saw that sister bathing, and lust took over.
Right.
He called for that woman. And when you read it, he asked, go call that woman. And the guard said, is not that Uriah the Hittite's wife? And that was the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You get my point?
Mm-hmm.
And David ignored it, called for that woman, had sex with that woman, got that woman pregnant, then tried to cover it up and telling Uriah, go sleep with your wife. So it'll look like he got her pregnant. You get my point?
That's
man.
Then when Uriah refused to have sex with his wife, what did David do? He put him in the front of the battle. I got you. He put him in the forefront. So why? So he can die.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Remember, he sent the letter by one of his soldiers. He sent it to the captain of his army, Joab, and told, no, don't let no one read this but you. And Joab read it, and he put Uriah in front. And what happened? Uriah died.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? Through the process of time, Bathsheba got pregnant.
Right.
And David thought everything was cool until Nathan the prophet came to him and told him that there was a man who had a poor man that has a lamb. That had a lamb, and he raised it from birth as his own child. He didn't eat it. He raised this like one of his own. It's all he had. He didn't have nothing but this lamb, right? But there was another rich man who had plenty of lamb, plenty of livestock, and he had guests, and he wanted to cook lamb, right? I'm paraphrasing, of course, right? And Nathan said that rich man went and took the poor man's lamb, everything that he had, and cooked it and ate it. And David was furious. David said, "Who is this man that done such a heinous thing?" And Nathan said, "What? You're the man."
Damn.
You get my point? And David, of course, repented. Look at Psalms 51 or so on. But the point is this: lust was the downfall of most of our kings. You look at Solomon,
Good night.
what did he battle with? He was the what? Look, Solomon, during the period of his reign as king, it was the most peaceful amongst Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It wasn't a time period where we were going back and forth in war with the Philistines. David handled that. You get my point?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an issue of, King Ahab and Jezebel. We going back and forth with, the prophets of Baal. It was the construction of the temple and everything like that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But what did he fall to?
He fell to lust.
He fell to lust.
And his, if I may,
Sleeping with heathens. Go ahead.
Slaggy, I was gonna say his lust was with heathen women. If I may,
Mm-hmm.
The Most High warned Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
He warned him,
Yeah.
showing the mercy that the Most High continuously shows us. But Solomon didn't listen. And what did he do? He started building temples,
Building altars.
altars for the Moabites, the Edomites, the Hittites.
Right.
And it said that his heart was turned away
Mm-hmm.
from the Most High. And because of that, Solomon fell. And if I may, sir, wasn't Solomon, other than, Christ, of course, he was one of the wisest men in the
Absolutely.
Bible.
Absolutely. And that just goes to show you that, as wise as you are, that shows you that the giant that lust is. That spirit of lust is,
Good night.
what you think Eve, hold on now. What you think Eve was deceived by?
Lust.
Lust.
Right.
You get my
was
point?
lust.
What you
Right.
she lusted after that knowledge, the tree of knowledge and good and evil, right? She lusted after that. That man in the book of Joshua who hid the Babylonian garments when we weren't supposed to Achan, his name was Achan. He lusted after those things. You understand? Judas.
Oh, good
Judas
night.
lusted after that money. When it says Satan entered into him, lust. That was lust.
If I may,
Go
sir,
ahead.
who was I always forget his name. Was it Absalom?
Mm-hmm.
It was the brother. It was one of David's sons.
Amnon and Tamar.
And
Oh my God.
He lusted after his
Own sister.
not a sister,
Damn.
his sister. And I'll never forget this. I remember
Mm-hmm.
reading it, and it was when he was talking to his cousin. He was talking to his cousin.
Act like you sick.
Right. He said, if I may, there was I'm paraphrasing. There was a scripture where, he tried to, if you read it, he tries to make it seem like, oh yeah, that's my sister on my I believe it was his mother's side, to try to downplay like, she kind of my sister, but she not really my sister. And if his cousin was righteous, he would have told him, hey, you need to cut that crap out. But what, like you said, sir, pretend like you sick. Go up there and request your sister. Like they planned it out.
Right.
This was
That's because he probably was having sex with his sister.
Probably.
Nice.
Demons love company. Salakia.
That was lust though.
Concert.
Right.
Go ahead.
But I was going to say I have a precept to go with Revelation chapter 21 verse 8
Let's hear it. Go ahead.
about the whoremongers. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
Come on now. Marriage is honorable in all.
And the bed undefiled.
And the bed undefiled. What you and your woman do in that bedroom, what you and your woman do in that bedroom is your business. As long as it is lawful. What's unlawful? Threesomes, orgies.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Letting her penetrate you.
Good night.
You better
Salakia.
not. You better not.
Right.
Salakia.
Whoa. That's unlawful.
Right.
That's unlawful.
I don't think that needs an explanation.
Yeah, Salakia. Go ahead.
If I may, it says in the book of Hebrews chapter 13 verse 4, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. That's right there in the Bible. It's like that's it on that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Whoremongers and whores.
Right.
You understand? Now, what's the precepts we got at? We went to the law to show you that prostitution is a sin. Right? Give me Deuteronomy 23.
Oh, I'm already there.
Read that.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 17.
Malak, give me Hosea.
Okay.
And it says, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
Right? There should be no whores of the daughters of Israel. Go ahead.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Right. Nor a sodomite. That's self-explanatory, correct? Now, we got the law where it says, thou shalt make no whore of the daughters of Israel. Let's put this into perspective.
Ahead,
it's not a sin for you to buy a woman. It's not a sin for you as the man to buy a woman, but it is a sin for her to sell herself.
Like, makes no sense.
Like,
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
Like,
help me out.
Right. Like,
it don't make no sense.
No sense.
It makes no sense.
One more time. Let's read it one more time.
Khan. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
There be no whore of the daughter of Israel, and that includes you not making them whores.
Right.
Because it's not just brothers having purchasing sex. It's brothers having sex and leaving women.
Right.
You have sex with a woman, that's your woman. You get my point?
Right.
So that's another big thing. But this is the issue. The topic at hand is you enabling men. Like in I.S.U.P.K, we teach men how to overcome lust. You enable it. You enable their lust, which goes further into them leading into a path of destruction of self, destruction of the mind, and destruction of our nation. If it wasn't for the Most High and Christ and putting the Spirit on Commander General YAHANNA to teach against those things, we'll be done, man. We'll be done. Because you niggas teach it's okay. No, I won't sell my daughter, but he can sell his.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. And if that's the case, nigga, how much for your sister?
Right.
How much?
Right.
How much? When I come over, nah. I want to hear that. I want to play the game, nigga. How much for your sister? It's not your daughter,
Right.
right? How much for moms?
Right.
Forget about it.
Give me a break.
Man.
Forget
Give me
about
a
it.
break.
Fighting words.
Give me a break. Go ahead. Say what you
I
gonna
will
say.
say so real quick.
So
If
foolish.
you're trying to say that it's not a sin because the Bible says it doesn't say so because you can't find the terminology in there. How about the commandment Christ gave, right? To love thy brother as thyself.
Come on.
Forget about it.
Come on, Ak.
You know what I mean?
Come on, Ak.
Like you would never want a man doing that to your daughter.
Damn.
Your mother.
Exactly.
You know? So why would you think it's okay for you to do that to that brother's daughter, man?
That's a heavy point. I go ahead. You want to?
Salagi, now I was just gonna say like this somewhat, not to get too off topic, this somewhat ties into the what we were talking about earlier, about the abortions and stuff. Now of course there's many reasons why some sisters in the world want to get an abortion, right? But one of those reasons, right, not saying it's good, of course, but one of those reasons is because it's fear. A lot of these sisters feel like, oh well, he's gonna leave me. He's gonna leave me. And that's the problem with brothers today. You out here having sex with women and leaving them. You're a whoremonger. Like you said, it's deeper than just buying.
Right.
It's not just that simple. If you decide to lay down with that woman and you leave her, remember the Most High said there should be no whores amongst the daughters of Israel, right? So if you have sex with her and you leave that woman, you're supposed to be her husband.
Right.
But now that you left her, well, guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna look for a husband somewhere else. You just made her a whore. Right. You just put her in an impossible situation.
Come on, man.
So that's your fault. Right. You gotta take responsibility for the women that you deal with. And one more thing too, it was real brief, just overcoming the lust. If I could, real quick, the pornography, right? Now I know there's some brothers out there. I'm pretty sure there's one somewhere who's gonna try to teach that it's okay. let me get into the scientifics of it real quick, right? Y'all know that there's a hormone that releases in your brain whenever you are, getting intimate with your lady. It's called dopamine. When you watch pornography, do you know that the dopamine levels are a lot higher when you watch pornography?
Good night.
All right? And you know what happens is, it's like a drug, right? Now that you've reached this new level of high, well, now you need to get even more high. So you start watching more, I'm not going to get too much into it, but you start watching more extreme things, right? And you just keep watching it. What starts to happen is, you brothers out there who might have a rib, you start suffering from erectile dysfunction because now you have reprogrammed your brain into being aroused and getting off to watching somebody else do it rather than you sleeping with your own woman. So now when it's time to, handle business, you can't handle business. The soldier ain't standing up no more because now you've reprogrammed your brain to look at somebody else. And first of all, why? First of all, why are you watching other people get it on? Like, there's a man in there,
right?
There's a man.
You gotta put it. You gotta put it in. You gotta say it like that so they can understand how disgusting it is.
Because if I could, like, you're watching. Let's really break it down for a second. You are watching a man and another woman. Sometimes y'all be watching women, or good night, probably two men. Who knows? The point is, it's gay.
Right.
It's gay.
It's gay.
And just to sum it all up, right? The erectile dysfunction, the dopamine levels. Doctors did a study of somebody with a pornography addiction and somebody who has a drug addiction. They did what is it? An autopsy or
like I know what you're saying. I don't know the exact.
It's an autopsy or a CAT scan. I can't remember. Right. But somebody probably knows the terminology. They put them side by side. It's the same.
Oh my god!
So
if I could,
go ahead, sir.
Just real quick.
That's heavy.
You know, on a spiritual level, you know what that is? The Lord is. Well, no, I don't want to say like you lost your manhood. That's what happened. And that's the punishment that the Lord put on you. You lost your manhood to that demon of watching porn. That's what happened.
Good night. Why you think when you watch it, when you're done, you can't even look.
You
at
feel
yourself.
bad. You start.
You can't even look. You can't even look at yourself.
Right.
You understand? Unfortunately, we grew up in America.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But the point is, blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, you have the opportunity to come out of those things.
Right.
You have the opportunity to be strong whenever those urges, lust comes in. You understand? Because the strong desire to get high is the same demon that gives you that desire to watch porn, to buy women. And listen, I thought sex was marriage.
Right.
You get my point? Is sex marriage or not?
Sex is marriage.
Right.
Sex is marriage. Unless you buy it, that's not in the Bible. This is what Paul said in 2 Corinthians 6:16. Let's read that, Malakma.
Come on, sir. So like, sir, 2 Corinthians or 1 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians right there. Because
This
you
is
have
1
brothers in Corinth that was tripping, not to get all into that, but they was doing things they had no business doing. And Paul had to break it down to them.
Come on, sir. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 13.
16.
Oh, verse 16. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body?
Read it like a question.
Okay. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body?
There you go.
For two, saith he, shall be one flesh.
Paul cut him. Is sex marriage? Yes, sex is marriage. Okay. So you gonna sleep with a harlot? And you stay with that harlot, right? You stay with that prostitute, right? That's what you do. You buy her for sex and you stay with her. You bring her home. You let her meet your mom and dad. You bring her around your kids, and she smell like the last 3 niggas she slept with in the last 2 hours.
Oh, good.
Salakia.
You
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Paul said, "Well, man, that's your wife, right? Ain't if you have sex, ain't that one body? You gotta say that.
Right.
You're not supposed to sleep with harlots. Right? You're not supposed to buy a horse. You're not supposed to buy profit. But wait a minute, Judah was looking for a whore. Yeah, Judah do that today.
Salakia.
Judah love, Benjamin loved weed.
Right.
You know how Issachar. Tell me what Issachar love.
I think it's like Salakia. Go
I
ahead, sir.
mean,
Issachar love tattoos.
tattoos.
You understand what I'm saying?
I would just say,
Issachar go
if I may, I would say like
Gad love
David-
alcohol.
Oh yeah, constant.
Judah love whores. Right?
Salakia. Like I talk smack about my own tribe all the time, but everything, if I may, everything these brothers is bringing out is 100% true. Like, just because, like, you're gonna read through the Bible, right? And there's gonna be brothers in there who do things that they're not supposed to do, right? Like we just read about, Solomon. Solomon was a great brother, but he did things that he was not supposed to do. King David was a great brother, but he did things that he was not supposed to do. I'm Salakia. I'm paraphrasing. Where it says
15:4.
things were meant for our learning. Things aforetime were meant for our learning. You're supposed to learn.
That was what I was about to get. Yeah.
Oh, Salakia.
Go ahead.
But you're supposed to learn from these mistakes that your forefathers, and in some cases your foremothers, made so that you don't do them. King David was a great brother whose heart was after the Most High, right? He did great things. Okay, look at those examples. But then when this is what I was going to touch on earlier. When he slept with Bathsheba, who was married unto Uriah, and not only did he convince Uriah, this is the spirit of lust, by the way, it causes destruction. Not only
Uriah,
Salakia. Uriah, I remember you touched on earlier, Uriah didn't want to sleep with his wife. This is the reason I wanted to touch on it earlier. Uriah didn't want to sleep with his wife because he was so devoted to King David.
Damn.
He said, "Oh, I want to serve you, my lord. Like, I don't
I
want.
can't. Yeah.
I can't
clean.
sleep. If I go over there, I can't do my job." And guess what? That spirit of lust was so strong over David at that time. It caused not only for him to commit adultery and for Bathsheba to commit adultery, but it caused somebody to die. It caused death. And that happens in the hood today.
So like, if I could real quick to add to that, and this just not to go back to the topic of abortion, but here's an even heavier topic thing. Bathsheba didn't want to kill her baby.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bathsheba didn't even want to kill her baby. She did a wicked act, and she's known for a wicked act. So that comes to show you, man. Just like you just want to say that.
No, that's heavy, man. Give me Genesis. Genesis 38.
Oh, Khan.
Genesis in 38, right? I want to point out some. Remember. Okay, if you look at Judah himself, there's a situation where it's actually, it's italicized, the shame of Judah. You see that, right? You see that, right?
Dang.
Where he was supposed to do something. He was supposed to, get with this sister. He didn't want to lay with this sister. And so the sister, knowing that Judah loved whores, disguised herself as a whore. You get my point? And Judah had sex with her because he thought that this woman was a whore. She disguised herself as a whore. So when you go to Genesis 38, we're not going to read the whole account. You read the whole account for yourself. Read verse...
Is it 15?
Let me see.
Because when Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot.
Yeah.
Khan. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 38, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot
Uh-huh.
because she had covered her face.
Uh-huh.
And he turned unto her by the way and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee.
Uh-huh.
For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law.
Uh-huh.
And she said, What wilt thou give me,
Mm-hmm.
that thou mayest come in unto me?
What's how much we talking? You get my point? And Judah wasn't wearing no damn cubic zirconias.
Oh, right.
You get what I'm saying? He had
Right.
a thing of actual,
Wealth.
not wealth, but
Value?
value.
Khan.
You get my point. So go ahead.
Khan. Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet?
Mm-hmm.
Thy signet and thy bracelets,
Mm-hmm.
and thy staff that is on thine hand.
Mm.
And he gave it to her,
Mm-hmm.
and came in unto her, and
Right.
she conceived by him.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, sir.
Keep going.
Verse 19. And she arose and went away and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood.
Mm-hmm.
And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adulamite,
Mm-hmm.
to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not.
Uh-huh.
Then he asked the men of the place, saying,
Of that town, baseline, right? San Bernardino,
Forget about it.
ghettos of Chicago, where
Mm-hmm.
whores are.
Constant.
Keep going.
Right.
Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place.
Mm.
And he returned to Judah and said,
We're going to read it all. Keep going.
Khan. And I cannot find her. Also the men of the I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place.
Mm-hmm.
And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot.
Mm-hmm.
And also, behold, she is with child by whoredom.
Mm-hmm.
And Judah said, Bring her forth and let her be burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And she, let's real quick. Verse 25, when she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, Discern, I pray thee, whose are these?
So it looked like, 3 months later go by, she starts showing. You understand? And it looked like she played the harlot because Judah was supposed to lay with her. You understand? It looked like she played the harlot, but she said, no, by who this bracelet and this signet and this whose staff this is by the man I'm pregnant. Whose is this? Keep going.
Man. Verse 26, and Judah acknowledged them and said, She hath been more righteous than, she had been more righteous than I.
Now, why did she say that? Or why did he say that? Because he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Right.
She has been more righteous than I. Why? Why would he say that? Because he wasn't supposed to be sleeping with he wasn't supposed to be going into town looking for no whores. Mm-hmm. You understand? What was the unrighteous act?
Him paying for sex.
What was the unrighteous act? They'll bring up Judah bought a whore. Okay, yeah. Judah bought a whore.
Right.
Judah bought what he thought was a whore.
Right.
The fact that he was looking for a harlot is their argument. Okay, nobody's arguing that he was looking for a harlot. You understand? It's the fact that he's saying she has been more righteous than I. So what did he deem unrighteous? He knew within himself he wasn't supposed to be doing things like that.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
That's plain and simple. Can we get Hosea?
Chapter
Can we go to Hosea chapter 1? Because they use another example where where this ain't even talking about prostitution, but this is what they try to bring out and say, oh, you know, the Lord told. First of all, we got in the commandments where God said, "Thou shalt not prostitute thy daughter. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel." So we're gonna see what's going on here in Hosea.
Come on, sir. The book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 1.
And even Christian, you know where they get that from? Christianity.
Right.
Wow.
Christians teach that Hosea bought a prostitute. That's what Christians teach.
Man.
And so they learn that from Christians, right? But the Lord don't tell man to sin.
Right.
The Lord not going. The Lord don't tell man to sin.
Right.
That don't even make no damn sense. Right? Go ahead, Doc.
The book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 1. The word of the Lord that come unto Uzziah.
Hosea.
Oh, Salaki.
But that's Issachar, and you act like you. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing.
The son of Beri, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel.
Now, in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the sons of Joash, king of Israel. So you had Hosea who lived through certain kings' lives, and the majority of the kings of Israel were wicked.
Right.
They built altars for Baal. They allowed women to come in and play queen and put them in positions of authority, and caused the children of Israel to whore away from the Lord. You understand? Because remember, the Lord said, "I am married unto you" in Jeremiah 5:2. Or Jeremiah 5:2 or Jeremiah 6:2.
I think it's 5:2.
I'm married unto you. You understand? But Israel played the whore. You get my point? So keep reading.
Okay. Verse 2. The beginning of the word of the Lord by Hosea. And the Lord said to Hosea, Go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms. For the land have committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord.
Right. Right. Now, verse 2, you see that, and the Lord said to Hosea, Go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms. They'll say, what they say? They see, he bought a woman. He bought a prostitute. You understand? That's not what it says. It doesn't say he purchased anything.
Right.
Exactly.
So what is this really talking about?
Right.
Don't say that we read in Judah how he bought a whore.
Right. And if I may, it clearly stated that he gave up his riches or paid for sex.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So you can see it.
But Hosea, it says that the Lord told Hosea, Go take unto thee a wife of whoredoms and children of whoredoms. For the land hath committed great whoredom, departing from the Lord.
Right.
Hold on, right?
Come on, man.
So what is the whoredom? It's the fact that the children of Israel, under the rule of these kings, were being taught ways that were abominable, which the Most High compared it to a whore.
Right.
Because the Most High said, I'm married unto you. But you serve other gods. You serve Baal. You serve Balaam. You sacrifice your children unto Moloch.
Right.
The children of Israel weren't serving God, right?
Right.
So that, and this sister that he married and had a child with was not someone that, she didn't sell her box.
Right.
She was in the world. Right? She was in the world.
Right.
You understand?
If I may, sir, just to show you, it's funny because when we had that whole discussion, somebody somewhere said that's the perfect precept for them fake Christians. Now, one of the things that Christians like to teach, right? The word I wanted to go over was fornication. So a lot of people think that fornication is just having to do with just sex. So they'll look at this and think, they committed whoredom. So, that means that they, was looking for hoes. That's what they was doing. But like you said earlier, sir, the Most High said that I am married unto you, and we played the whore, we played the harlot by worshiping other gods and going on to heathen culture. So if I could, I wanted to go over some of the definitions for fornication, if I could, sir. So this is the definition for fornication. Now it says unlawful sexual intercourse of an unwed person. It also says It was commonly associated with heathen worship and was used as a figure of disloyalty to God. So this is, like you said, sir, this is what this is talking about. We played the harlot by just like today, celebrating birthdays, Halloween, Mother's Day.
That's departing from the Lord. That's the whoredom in Hosea 1 and 2. The whoredom isn't buying sex in its context. It's not. It's talking about the ways your actions causing you to depart from God.
Right.
This sister was departed from God.
Right.
The Lord didn't tell Hosea to get a sister, prove her, right?
Right.
Have the ceremony with the sheets, the white sheet, right? He told her to get one of those women, marry one of those women that are in that mind frame of being one who doesn't serve the Lord.
Right.
That sister didn't serve God. You read on, this woman had children. Two of Hosea's children, which were figurative for the point God was trying to make.
Right.
In contrast to how Israel and Judah is.
Right.
You understand? Because there was a split amongst us.
Right.
You understand? That's what this is talking about. It's not talking about Hosea buying a woman.
Right.
You understand? It's that simple, man. And you read chapter 2, you know what I mean? That it goes into how it's the Most High is paralleling that with us in the Most High.
Right.
You understand? So that's all that is. But let's get Galatians 5:17. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick because it also says the land of whoredom, like basically saying all of Israel, like the nation committed the whoredom. So basically, she was a sister in the world because Israel put itself into the world.
Yeah.
So that's what that's talking about, man.
Yeah.
And when you got the proper understanding, you read this and you can understand that. And this is another thing I don't want to touch on, just to say real quick. Not all of y'all should be trying to break this Bible down, man.
None of them.
None of y'all.
None
of y'all should be trying to, unless you're in here in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, put that Bible down, man. Stop trying to break it down and come in here and learn, man.
That might.
Like,
That's what.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 17. And it says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would." Keep reading, sir.
You hear that, right? One more time.
The book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 17. "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit."
The flesh lusteth against the spirit. You see that? Keep going.
"And the spirit against the flesh."
And the spirit against the flesh. It's a constant battle. It's a constant war. Keep going.
"And these are contrary the one to the other."
You can't serve both.
Exactly.
You're going to serve your lust, your strong, overwhelming desires to buy prostitutes. You're going to serve that, or you're going to serve not doing it. You get my point?
Right.
Serve that. Serve discipline.
right.
You know what I mean? Serve discipline. Serving God. Serve that mindset instead of serving giving in. Like a lot of brothers and sisters really battle lust and battle not only buying women. And again, that's so nasty. It's just nasty.
Right, yeah.
It's nasty. It's
Right.
You's a nigga, you're nasty.
Oh,
Sister, you selling your behind, you're nasty. So women can strip then, right? What's the problem with strip clubs? What's the problem with strip clubs if prostituting woman? You paying for a dance. That's all. I'm paying a business transaction.
Salakia, if I may, sir. If we could just be real for a moment, them strip clubs, that's really just prostitution too.
Right.
You know what them sisters are really doing behind closed doors.
They doing it in the open.
They like concert. Like they still like they not selling their body. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Let's just be real right now. So like, go ahead, sir.
No, they're literally selling their body.
No, I know.
Just because they're not, they're not having sex with her. They're getting money out of you.
Oh, if I
without having sex with you. It's the same spirit.
And if I may also, oh my gosh, some of those sisters, they, like, really is disgusting either way. But y'all know, like, these strip clubs and pornography, whatever you want to call them, they be getting these sisters young.
Right.
They be getting them at 16, 17 and giving them a fake ID.
Well, hold on. If a woman can, if you could buy whores, then surely that woman can sell herself and serve God.
Right.
No.
Because you can buy a woman and serve God. She can sell herself and serve God.
If I may, sir, where does it say that in the Bible?
That's my point. That's my point.
Sir.
You get my point? Go ahead.
I was going to say real quick. If you go to strip clubs, right, because you brought out the strip clubs, you brought out the prostitution. If you support those things and you're trying to advocate that it's lawful to do that, you got the spirit of a sodomite on you, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. And it is Pride Month. So it's not a coincidence that you got this clown, a lot of these clowns saying that.
You can't spell Pride Month without demon.
Right.
It is Pride Month. Listen, don't talk about man on man. You buying women.
Right.
You in the same boat.
Right.
You in the same boat. You in the same hotel, brother. Don't talk to me about woman on woman and man on beast. When you buy women, that's nasty.
Right.
That's disgusting. It's filthy. You understand? You buying women. You understand? Like you watching other people have sex. Don't do that. Don't do that. More importantly, battle. Go to war with your lusts. You understand? Right. Like brother brought out earlier in Romans 15:4, the things written aforetime are written for our learning, that we through comfort of the scriptures might have hope. That's what Paul said. So we got to look at those instances where men were, look, Samson.
That's another one. Dang.
Samson was a mighty brother.
Right.
Hold on, that.
Right.
Samson was a mighty brother. He was a Nazarite, and you know what I mean? He put 1,000 to flight with the jawbone of an ass. But there was a giant that slew Samson. You understand? Like, no, it wasn't a strong one of the champions of the Philistines and Hittites that got Samson killed. It was a big butt and a smile. It was a whore by the name of Delilah, and he kept sleeping with this whore. You understand? And caused this brother to be weak. You see? So that's another example. Samson, Solomon, dealing with succumbing to his lust. So what if we don't do, like, look at the result of Samson giving into his lust. Look at the result. Death. Look at the result of Solomon's lust. Death. The kingdom being split. Look at the result of David succumbing to his lust. That child that he got Bathsheba pregnant or that died.
Right.
You understand? Look at all the men that have succumbed to their lusts. In the Bible and out of the Bible. The result is not good.
Right.
So my question is to Malakma Aitazam, imagine a brother who doesn't succumb to his lust. Get my point? Imagine a brother who doesn't do the things that Satan wants him to do.
Right.
Be that brother.
Right.
Be that man. You understand? And again, prostitution, porn, sleeping with the next man's wife is nasty. You nasty.
Right.
You nasty and you wrong. You understand? Hell, rape.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Raping women, nigga. You're an abomination.
You're a sodomite.
That shouldn't even be a topic.
You're an abomination. That's in the Bible too. The penalty for that was death.
Right.
But you got cats that teeth. You can do that.
Good night, man.
You see? But we're not gonna harbor on this much longer. What's the other precept we got?
We had two more. Let me see. I'm not sure if this is. I was thinking the one where it says.
Give me Romans 8 and 13. Yeah, let's get that and close it up. Romans 8 and 13. We can help you. You suffer from those things. You suffer from lusting after cigarettes, and you don't want to drink, but you can't help but drink. You understand?
Right.
So, like, sir, if I could just say one thing.
Absolutely.
Real quick. When the I.S.U.P.K says that everything outside of here is Christianity, I'm understanding that every day more and more. When I see the nonsense that these fake Israelite camps teach, man. When I see the things the Christian church teaches, there's really nothing different, man. You're the same.
Right.
You're the same. So, I mean, we say that for a reason. We don't say that because, we trying to, just, I don't know how to boast. And no, we say that for a reason because outside here, everything y'all teach out there is off.
You
man.
can't buy whores in here.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't buy whores in here. You can't get high in here. You can't be a sodomite in here. You can't, be an adulterer in here. You can't do that. Go ahead.
If I may too, sir, you can't be having no Passover at no strip club neither.
Right.
Strip club.
You know
what I mean?
Slocky,
get
Romans 8:13.
You gotta buy a woman that.
Right.
You don't want a woman. You want to have sex.
Right.
You get my point?
So you buying a woman that just been with another man.
Listen, and about to go get with another one. So
right.
what are you making that sister?
Oh.
But you gonna go out on the street and tell women to cover their behind? Nah.
Right.
Nah. That's what you want. How you gonna go out and call yourself teaching and tell women, how to dress and, how not to, no, what you gonna buy there? Who are you teaching? Okay, you can't be a whore. You chill. I'm gonna get with you later. But everybody else, you can't dress provocative with your behind all out. What do you think you're gonna go do when you buy these women? That's nasty. Disgusting. And then never mind. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir. You want Romans 8:13?
Yeah, Con.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 13. For if ye live after the flesh.
If you live after the flesh, you can't serve Christ and live after the flesh.
Ye shall die.
That's gonna happen. You're gonna catch a damn disease. That disease gonna seep through that condom.
Boy.
And your rod gonna fall off. You sleep with that man's woman, your rod gonna fall off.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
You sleeping with the same sex, you're going to get monkeypox.
Right.
It's gonna happen.
Right.
You're gonna get a disease that is going to eat at you and cause you to die. You need to hear that. I'm going to tell you. The I.S.U.P.K is going to tell you what you don't want to hear, but what you need to hear.
Right.
You need to hear how filthy that is, how disgusting that is. To put things into perspective, you sleeping with a woman who just left another man's car, doing all kind of stuff with her, and you in there right behind him.
Yes.
And you a man of God?
Right.
You ain't no man of God doing that. And don't put that on Hosea. You understand? Right. Hosea was a righteous man of God. Hosea did not buy women. Hosea didn't sleep with prostitutes.
Right.
You understand? Mm-hmm. Don't put that on Hosea.
Right.
You understand? So we could teach you how to overcome your lust. You understand?
So like, I don't want. Could I say one more thing? If you claiming to be a priest of the Most High and you're buying prostitutes, you're no different than that disgusting Catholic priest that molests little boys. You're the same thing.
Come on. It's the same boat. It's the same hotel, just different rooms.
Come.
Damn. If I may, sir, I'm paraphrasing. Doesn't the scripture say, "Of my flesh comes of no good thing"?
That's what Paul said, if I'm not mistaken. You understand? You serve your flesh. So, look, man, we the I.S.U.P.K, the Commander Junior YAHANNA, man. We'll be back next time with other topics, bringing it to you heavy, of course, in the spirit of the Lord. With that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.